Hey everybody, first thing you'll probably notice is that this video is a bit shorter than our usual episodes of Cthulhutech. There's an unfortunate reason for that. While we were recording, we had some issues with our audio, some severe ones. You can kind of hear it a little bit in this clip that I've managed to salvage when one of our players is talking, and you can barely hear, they keep on cutting in and out. You can barely hear what they're saying. Unfortunately, that kind of plagued our night in Roll20. I don't know if it was Roll20 or just our connection. Probably a combination of everything. We've had some issues with Roll20's audio and video lately, even when we're not recording, so that's been kind of a thing. That unfortunately left it to where we really couldn't record or, let me put it this way, we really couldn't salvage much of the episode because it was so hard to hear the players half the time on the recording I got from our live stream. And that really does kind of suck. I wish I could put it up here for you guys, but unfortunately, there's not much I could do with that audio. However, what I can do is give you basically a synopsis of what went down and then get into the portion that we managed to salvage that had the longest period of time where there wasn't any audio issues. Essentially, the players went to go after Grant Walker, and they had selected this bar that he was actually hiding at, unbeknownst to them, to check out first. They went there, they saw him. If you guys saw the last episode at the end, you noticed that Ember had seen Grant walk in the back door, and that's exactly where we picked off with this episode. And they were trying to figure out what they wanted to do, how they wanted to handle it. They needed to get eyeballs upstairs wherever Grant went to. They weren't sure what they wanted to do, so they sent up Jesse's character, Ghost, in Tegra form, invisible, so she can phase up through the walls or the ceilings in case she needed to get away. Unfortunately, she got up there, and the dice were not in her favor, and Grant detected her presence. She fled after seeing him kind of look around as if he was looking for somebody back in her direction. She fled, let them know that she was potentially made, essentially, and at that point, Grant came downstairs and started scanning the members of the bar one by one. Now, Grant is telepathic. He is able to sense minds, read minds, and actually influence thoughts and actions. And once he got down there, it was just a matter of time before they got found out. And they didn't want to all just leave and come back because they were pretty sure that they would have spooked him and that he would have moved, they would have lost the lead. So they decided to stay. Now, during this, they had already talked to their boss for the outing, Quinn, and had made sure that she knew what was going on. Now, they had Eric do this. Eric did not get back to them in time because things just went crazy after this point. Essentially, once they knew that Grant had spotted them, they all transformed to their Tegra forms and just went straight to the attack. Several donors from upstairs came down with Grant. Grant transformed as well, and that is knockdown, drag-out fight in the bar that had Ember calling down a meteor swarm, which really screwed the building. Like, the floor started collapsing, and a mech that was upstairs fell through the floor, and they managed to destroy that with Jeff's Nightmare's blast. Just completely destroyed the mech. And then they just started fighting the donos that were there alongside Grant. Things did not work out for them. They killed Grant Walker. Actually, it was Ghost's last action, essentially. She transposed herself into Grant when she went intangible and solidified and blew him apart. They killed him, but in return, the donors that were there, they just could not take them down. There were just too many of them. And they got mobbed, dragged down, and all killed before the building itself collapsed and killed everybody inside. This sounds like it was a bad stop point, like the complete party wipe. Everybody died. Quinn was still on her way, but given combat round started, she was not going to get there at any time, to finish that combat. It was going to be like 20 minutes before she got there. And since each combat round's only 3 seconds long, that's a long time to hold out, and they just couldn't do it. There were just too many of these guys. Unfortunately, none of the PCs made it out alive, but fortunately, they actually finished their target. Well, after the session ended, we gave a recap on Twitch about what happened after their death. Basically, the things that they'd set in motion by killing Grant and calling a lot of attention to what happened because they died so spectacularly that the Eldritch Society looked into the area a little more intensely, and they found out some interesting things. Let's see what happened. Quinn was on her way with her pack, but since rounds were like 3 to 5 seconds a pop, she gets here and everything's just a fucking mess. Eric is warding off cops as they get here, and you guys get positive ID on Granton having murdered Walker. And you scorched earth the fucking bar, so you did what you said you're gonna do.
She said she said scorched earth was acceptable.
Yes, she did. So post-mortem, roll credits. You guys go down in the annals for the Eldritch Society as eliminating Grant Walker. You guys found him, killed him. Your first night on the Grant Walker case, you took care of him. You found out where he was by just didn't a chance and fucking killed his ass. What they find in the wreckage is that he was stealing bits of mechs from all around the NEG manufacturing plants in Chicago, and this was the assembly area for when they were putting them together upstairs. So the entire area in the second floor here, I'm gonna just take us there so you can see it. This entire upper area, up in the top left of the screen here, that's where they were putting the mechs together. Like, they put them in there, they go out the back, and they'd ship them off. He was gathering all these mech parts to basically wage war on the Eldritch Society's home base that you went to in Chicago. He knew where it was. Now, what they managed to root out of all the rubble and all the chaos that's here, from the damaged parts of the computer and all the data chips they managed to get out of the wreckage, effectively they found this network that you guys would have found as well, of all these people that he was pulling favors from. So the NEG hab block he went to, he had about 30 donoids in that hab block that were blackmailing and pressuring these scientists to start giving them instructions and lessons on how to assemble these things. The aquatic, the shoreline, the lakefront area that they went to, the team that went there, which was actually Quinn's pack, they found Veritas Security watching that base. All Dornoids, every single one of them. And what they were doing was they were basically scanning the communications for all the aquatic operations in the area. And while people were leaving, they were going in and stealing shit and bringing it back out, the new weaponry. One of the mechs you guys the mech that got destroyed by Nightmare, by Savage the Nightmare, was actually a prototype that's getting ready to be used against the Migo in orbit. You find out that the person feeding them information, well, you guys find out, but the Eldritch Society finds out that the person who was giving them information that was a contact for Grant Walker was somebody you all knew and didn't like. Give you a guess.
Oh, it was the guy that our area guy.
It was what?
Manager.
Eric's boss?
Of course.
Eric's boss, yeah.
Yes. Yes, it was. Now, this actually starts... So Maxwell was selling out the Eldritch Society to the Children of Chaos, but he was doing it on orders of somebody higher up in the Eldritch Society. This whole thing causes this backlash of like rooting, these people out in the society. Come to find out, one of the 3 surviving Dornoids that founded the Eldritch Society never committed suicide. He went off by himself, if you read the Ancient Enemies. He tried to kind of leave the society and master himself, but at the end of the day, they're Dornoids. The reason that the masters killed themselves is because they knew they could not, restrain themselves from following the impulses from the elder gods. So that's why they killed themselves. This guy didn't. And so he went on this exile, though, to try and master it. Well, he came back no longer in control of himself. And he started giving orders to the Eldritch Society, people who had listened to him, to start betraying it and corrupt it from inside. So those Tagers that were fanatical are fanatical to the founders. He's one of them. He's just no longer on the side of the angels. So Quinn's team starts mopping that up. Mr. White gets taken out by the NEG because too much information gets leaked about what he was doing, and he was pulling his fingers in too many pies, essentially. White gets taken out.
Mr. White was the
Blood God.
Blood Lord, right?
Yep, he was the Blood God. He gets taken out because the NEG found out what he was, and he was pulling too many strings to try to cover this up. So he died to shield the rest of the society against what was going on with the NEG. Effectively, what happened in Italy was when the esoteric order went there and they had that mask, they performed a ritual underwater that opened a doorway towards Riley. So they got one step closer to awakening Cthulhu.
Wow.
What they did sends a ripple throughout the world as cultists get more and more powerful. Dagon's cults start taking over a lot more than just the very shorelines. It starts fighting and they start pushing their way further in. Now, luckily, the society would have been crippled by what was going on with Grant and the higher-ups if what you guys didn't draw attention to all the information. And the fact that you died in such spectacular fashion got everybody paying attention to it, especially the Tager packs who'd want to pay you honor and want to do right by your guys' memory for taking out Grant, who was killed like countless fucking Tagers. That scrutiny is what caused that web of corruption in the society to be rooted out and burned, which allows the society to start fighting back more effectively against the Donoids that are out there.
I don't think we would have uncovered as much without us dying in such a fashion.
Well,
no, not this quick.
Not this quick. This takes place over like the next year or two. As this stuff gets rooted out, slowly but surely starts coming to light and starts being dealt with by the society. Now, the problem is the esoteric order Dagon can't really fully take control because the Children of Chaos are still pissed off at it because they stole that rite of transmutation, the one that turns them into Donoids. Right. They stole that from the Children of Chaos. So that's why there was infighting. And what the esoteric order did was they set their spies up that were inside the NEG and inside the Eldritch Society to do a test run of these new Donoids. And that was the Ravners. Those guys were the test run to see how they would perform against Tagers. And they performed very well. So that becomes a huge issue. So there's a lot of really tense fighting because those new Donoid types are out there. But now you guys kind of know where they came from. So you can push back effectively.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Like, all in all, the scene itself was epic. And the shit we put a stop to, where in a way it kind of hurt the world as a whole because they were able to get the Italy thing off. It helped still hopefully give us future, like, stop from the Eldritch Society from falling apart completely.
It did.
We defended the Eldritch Society from within.
Ironically,
so as long as they keep working and humanity's still alive, we didn't fully fail yet.
Ironically, the spectacular fashion of your deaths is what really called a lot of attention. And the fact that you guys killed Walker. If you hadn't killed Walker, I don't think it would have been as big of a deal.
Right.
But since you all killed Walker, like really killed Walker, that drew more prestige to the fact that you know this went down, that the pack did it, especially its first night.
I don't do magic, Morty. I do science. One takes brains, the other takes dark eyeliner.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Even though you died. Thank you. But
it was a good death.
The spectacular fashion in which you died.
I told him we were going to get him.
Yeah, the spectacular fashion in which you died and that you killed Grant is what really did it. Because if you had just died and Walker got away, you guys would have been just another statistic. And it would have been the hunt would have continued, but they wouldn't have really paid so much attention to the remains and the wreckage here as they do since you guys did take Walker out. Like, why was he here? You know, what was he doing? Otherwise, I'd been like, yeah, there was a mech there. That was fucking weird. Let's look into that. But Walker must have been hiding out and took off. But here it's like, no, he was doing some major shit here and died here. Let's look into why the fuck he was here. And that's what kind of prompts all that investigation. So for me,
I liked it.
What I thought you would do, I thought you all were going to storm the castle. I'm like, I know what's up there.
Right to the NEG?
No. Just run upstairs and be like, limit, boom, 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 dead. I was dreading that moment. I'm like, well.
I mean, admittedly, in hindsight, I could have done that. He didn't actually see me. I could have literally just walked into him and popped.
So he didn't see you, but he just sensed you were there. Like, Grant in the book is kind of broken, but not really, like, effectively broken, if that makes sense. Like, the only thing that's broken about him is that he doesn't pay Orgon for his fucking, his powers, his parapsychic abilities. His form is not that impressive. Like, he's not a badass. So what I did was I basically let him sense surface thoughts people around him without having line of sight. That's it. That's all I changed. So
and that's not even a big buff to him because it doesn't cost Oregon anyways.
Right.
So it's not like you're really doing him any favors in that aspect. So
right.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's good. So there were going to be like 10 donoids up top that you can see a couple right here, but there are a bunch inside the rooms that I didn't put out there. Plus the mech was in the back. That was going to be turned on and start just chunking its way down the fucking hall towards you all. I was like, one good shot, this thing's dead. I'm like, but on the flip side, one good shot, it gets off. Somebody else ain't.
And one of us
good.
are dead.
Yeah.
It's N209, man.
Yeah. So, that's how I thought it was going to go. I'm like, all right, they're going to fucking burn this place down. There's a bunch of information to get here. I'm like, if they take Grant alive, there's a lot of shit he can tell you. Like, he was working with somebody from the society. And he would have told you to buy his own life. Like, if you got him down, it's like, all right, listen. If I can't affect you mind-wise, I'll sell your guys out. It causes more chaos in the Eldritch Society, so why the fuck not? Yeah, look at Maxwell. He's the one who told me where everything was.
Man, we could have gotten all that information out of him, and we still would have killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We still would have murdered his ass, and then Maxwell would have been next on the list.
Yeah, that would have been a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. Come back. Hey, boss. We want to have a meeting and straight fucking kill him.
Quinn would have been right there with you.
If we didn't catch him before he changed, because I believe Maxwell is a fucking phantasm, right? Or
no,
phantom?
He's a specter.
Like me.
He's a specter.
Oh, okay. I thought he makes sense. I thought he was a phantom. I was like, he could kill one of us in a round because their limits.
I mean,
it kills one person. It hits him and pulls him into a
as a specter. He
universe.
Still could as well. He'd be the first person, like the only person he could do it to.
Sure.
But
yeah, but the other way I saw it going down is like, all right, they spotted him. They're gonna call fucking Quinn, like you did. I was like, all right. That's why I was like, are you calling her here? Like, is that what you want to do? Because I was like, oh, they might got this in the bag. Like, that's going to be like Quinn shows up with her pack. She's got 4 Tigers in her pack on top of her. Be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, we would have waited, but we couldn't, man.
Yeah, he spotted.
Right.
He came downstairs.
Checking people.
If he didn't come downstairs, we would have waited, had backup, and probably
Yeah, that's true. If he hadn't, yeah. So tactically,
either way, we did good. I applaud us.
We succeeded in what we set out to do.
Oh, you guys,
I got the mission kill shot.
You
I'm happy about
succeeded
it.
the fuck out of your mission. Jesus Christ. I was like, she's not gonna. She did. Cool. I'm like, yeah, awesome. And then the fucking donor is like, rah! Human form, so the explosives manifest. Like, boom. Got nothing. I was like, well, I'll at least hurt one of them. No.
We still didn't make it though. There were enough donoids left over, and we'd all blown our load, for lack of a better term. And it was unfortunately, but again, in our death, worth it.
Oh, a bunch of fanatics on a singular mission.
I mean, I totally would have fled, except I cannot leave a friend behind.
And that's where our Cthulhutech session pretty much wrapped. We talked a little more on stream about what we're going to be doing next, things of that nature. But that was really it for Cthulhutech. They died. They saw their mission through to the end. They all felt it was a pretty good death. Nobody was unhappy with it. They achieved their mission, and the epilogue after everybody died there, with things wrapping up and them seeing where the plot was going, was very satisfactory, really, in the end. So that really kind of sums it up for Cthulhutech. We did our autopsy already. That video is being edited right now and is going to be up probably first of the year. We had some interesting thoughts on the system as a whole. We did that before we actually finished the game, so it's going to be some interesting insights there. We're going to be doing Cyberpunk Red next, and we're going to hopefully have a lot of fun with that game, so we'll see how it goes. Catch you guys later, and as always, have fun.